Sam here. I have this story on three drone stocks that isn't necessarily getting told. These tickers are RCAT, UMAC, so ARCAT and UMAC, and also KTOS, KTOS, which is a more defense sector stock. You can go off and look at the recent news, look at the charts for these. But if you pay attention to this next 8 minutes, I'll tell you exactly why I think these are great buys based on earnings in the case of KTOS and recent news in the case of UMAC and ARCAT. So let's take a look right now. Start with ARCAT. The chart looks pretty good given that it's been developing higher lows and has this pivot point that you could buy off of, $9. I'm not saying you just buy stocks based on what a chart looks like, but I am saying that there are thousands of traders who do that profitably. Some of them have $1 million to $10 million to $100 million portfolios. ARCAT has tactical drones, right? Black Widow drones for purposes that are obvious. They do have a low-cost, portable, unmanned drone system, part of the Pentagon's Replicator initiative. And this is the swarms of deployable drones. If you remember the New Jersey drone story, they were probably drones from China. It was never formally announced where the drones came from, but it was a mystery. The past 2 months ago it happened, about maybe a little longer than that. Drones in swarms are a problem. And so ARCAT is developing them. They actually do have FAA authorization without broadcasting remote ID. So that's helpful in a sort of defense application. And for aeronautical research is the way to make that palatable to the public. They do have a partnership with Palantir. That's huge. And that's AI-driven visual navigation. So drones are flying even if GPS is jammed. Palantir is pretty awesome right now, particularly after this earnings held up, which is unusual for a number of stocks this earnings season. So the market's taking notice of ARCAT, and you can see that defense budgets for autonomous systems are rising. Palantir continues getting new enterprise clients and government contracts up the wazoo. So ARCAT is getting some of that downstream, subcontracting as well as just partnership, collaboration. Whether Palantir pays them or they don't, being in bed with Palantir is great for the future of the stock price. So that's ARCAT. Again, as far as the level, I think this pivot, if it can stay above it, is pretty great. Or even in here. Depends on what the market's doing. Of course, we weren't expecting this rebound to be so strong. If we get above all-time highs, that could be good news. And even though ARCAT's a smaller name, it is linked to the market in that if we zoom out about to April, we can see it did have the benefit of the market going up. You can see the green overlay is the market in the background. Okay, UMAC, similar sort of move when the market rebounded. Earnings is coming up, but we don't have that yet, so we don't need to worry about that. Probably wouldn't make a bet on this until after Friday, when the earnings happens and the volume is high enough where we can get a sense if to buy above that level is safe. That's what I always talk about, high volume close. If you're new to this channel, I'm just mentioning that. This is a smaller drone player. They have been taking some strategic acquisitions, and they're working on modular scalable drones for surveillance, mapping, inspection. So it's a little different than ARCAT. Looking at, partnerships and emerging markets to maybe take some of the contracts opportunities that larger stocks, larger companies like ARCAT or KTOS aren't interested in because they're already beyond that. But look, it was a $1 name. It was a penny stock, really, at one point, of course. But now it's up here in the $10. It's holding here. This move was obviously insane. But it's not just one of those fades, spikes, fades. People short it, spike, fades. This is looking like it could develop into something real. Drones are a hot category. Trump passed the big, beautiful bill. Defense spending is not slowing down anytime soon. And UMAC is a smaller name that doesn't get as much interest, but could definitely take off. And similar to the ARCAT chart, we have this sort of pivot over here. So if it can stay above here, it might need to go sideways a bit more, but after earnings, you're going to want to watch. So next week, this thing could really take off. No pun intended. KTOS. Look at this. Awesome move after recent earnings. That revenue climbed almost 20% year over year to $350 million. So Q3 guidance did miss estimates slightly, but they raised their full year revenue outlook, and the stock is up an insane amount. I mean, if we could just go this year, it's up 150%. Do we want to buy things that are up 150% in a year? No. But it's up 30% from its 50-day moving average. The ADR is about 6, so that's right about at the level of 5 times the average daily range, which is the limit that I use if you're new to this channel for how to buy a stock. But you can buy it based on your own technical criteria. That's not on me. If you're here for news, KTOS did have a $350 million contract for their Valkyrie unmanned aerial vehicle, UAV. So that's a big deal. And they're doing satellites and cyber security as well. This is a bigger name than UMAC and ARCAT. It's a defense tech name. So drones are just a piece of their capability, but they are partnering with other companies. That earnings was pretty solid, and we can see the stock did jump on that earnings about, I think this is about 10%. We can find it exactly here, but yeah, 10% or more. And it's holding. It's holding this high volume close. This is a very fresh chart where you have a level here, 64 to risk off of, just in time information. If you happen to be seeing this in the next couple days, this is on Monday the 11th, but you could see this later in the week. You'll still have that level to risk off. So the big picture here is these drone plays are, it's not just hot in the media and the news. The charts and the stock prices also are reflecting that in a positive way. Sometimes you see a topic talked about in the news a lot, but the stock charts are not showing the same interest from smart money, right? Institutions or high net worth clients or family offices or whoever is, even retail. In the case of Tesla, people pouring into Tesla this week is a sign that there's some speculation money back in the market. So where is it going to go? Well, I think some of it could go into some of these drone names. So if you're looking to take a piece of that drone boom, I think ARCAT, UMAC, and on a more broader defense basis, KTOS, are the names to look at. So yeah, I would stay tuned. If you are looking for more plays like this, great stocks to buy, sectors that are under the spotlight and could have accelerating volume and price appreciation, stocks are going to go up. I do the research and I deliver names to you in a digestible format. So subscribe if you want to see more of those. It grows this channel, makes it look more professional to people who are new to the channel, who aren't sure yet if this information is good or not. Even though it's just a number of subscriptions, that's the purpose of it. If you don't subscribe, it'll still show up on your home feed. It's just, I'm explaining why it could benefit you and also me to have this channel look more professional. All right, take care, good luck, and I'll keep you updated. You guys are awesome.